Hey everybody, I'm back for an update on my Android saga, drama, whatever. Anyway, I am back to let you know how that's going. So, if you remember, and if you don't remember, check out the links in the description below where I link to the two podcasts where I talk about this whole thing. But long story short, I decided at the end of June that I wanted to switch from my iPhone to Android because it's been a long time, 3 years since I've been on Android, and I'm out of touch with it. I'm bored with the iPhone, so it's perfect time to make the switch. And in order to do that, I ordered a Google Pixel Fold, but it was going to take so long for it to arrive that I decided to go ahead and order a Motorola Razr Plus flip phone just to try that format, which I did. And I sent it back. Cute little phone, form factor wasn't for me. After I sent it back, I switched back to my iPhone for like a day, and then I decided, no, that's cheating. I don't want to keep going back and forth between the iPhone and Android. I need to stick to it and really give it a good shot this time. So I switched to a OnePlus 10 Pro for a few days, and then I received the OnePlus 11, which I did a review of. I will link to that written review below. Love the OnePlus 11 a lot. And after using it for a couple weeks, it actually made the switch to Android stick. That's right, folks. I'm off iPhone for a while, and I'm back on the Android. On the Android. That sounds stupid. I am back with Android. Anyway, I used the 11 for a couple weeks, and I ended up sending it to one of my writers who, one of his Android phones broke, and he really needed one, so I helped him out, and I sent him the OnePlus 11. I was really sad to ship it off, but you do what you got to do. And the Google Pixel Fold, here it is, had arrived. So I was happy to send it to him, put my SIM card, my primary SIM, my only SIM, into this little guy, big guy, little guy, it's both, and I've been using it ever since. I've been using this for 2 weeks now. Actually, today, I think, is the last day that I can send it back for a full refund, and as you can see, it is not in a box going back to Google. It is here in my hands, and I like it. Do I love it? Close. Here's the deal, and if you're wondering what kind of case this is, it is a Pitaka MagEZ case. It actually has a magnet in here so that you can use it with your MagSafe chargers, like this one, just like that. So, nice case. I'll have a full review soon. You also might be wondering about this back plate. I got a screen protector for it, and the screen protector came with a back plate here to protect the camera module, which I really suggest that you get, because the metal on this bump with the camera, it scratches super easy. So if I was going to send this back to Google, they would probably complain that it wasn't in 100% mint condition, because it has scratches. And I just put this in my pants. I put this in my pocket with like blue jeans or sweatpants. I haven't been treating it roughly. It just gets scratched easy. That part. That's the only part where I have scratches. The form factor of this is really nice. It's heavy. When I first opened the box, I thought this thing was like insanely heavy compared to my iPhone. But when I put both of them on a scale, I found out that this is only a few ounces heavier. but it really does feel heavier in my hand. I think it's perceived heaviness due to the thickness and this, just it's like small, squatty, and chunky, and it's just a perceived feeling that it's heavier than the iPhone. In order to make a switch from the iPhone to Android stick, there are three main things that I really needed. One is I needed a alternative to AirDrop. I used the iPhone as my primary camera, so I used it to take all of my review product shots. And then to get those photos to my MacBook here behind me, I used AirDrop. Just select all the photos in the camera roll, hit one button, and they appear on my MacBook almost what feels like instantaneously. So I needed an easy way that if I use this phone to take all my photos, that I need to be able to get it to my iMac. And Android doesn't have AirDrop that works with Apple computers. Well, I kind of looked at a few solutions, and the easiest is just to make sure that all my photos sync to Google Photos, and then I can get on Google Photos on the web and just select them and download them. So it's easy, no problem at all there. Number two is I needed an alternative to Find My. So Find My on iOS is a way to track objects and people. I have it set to where I can see where my sister is and Jeannie, my better half. So it's a cool way to just keep track of where people are. No, I'm not a stalker, but if we're going to meet someplace or I'm seeing where Jeannie is on her way home and things like that, it just works great. And I didn't think that there was an easy way to do that with Android until my niece told me, because she uses Android, Life 360. And it is a great alternative to Find My. It's free. You can put all your friends in it, and you can see where they are on a map. You can make groups for like your family, your friends, your coworkers, whoever you want. And then you can look to see where they are. And just like on Find My, they will move in real time as they're driving. So it's perfect, and I really like it. And since my sister and everybody else that are on iPhone loaded this app, I can keep track of them, and they can keep track of me. The third item that I needed to work in order to be able to switch to Android, and I've talked about it before, is Marco Polo, which is an app that will let you do like walkie-talkie video messages back and forth with your friends and your family. I'm happy to say that that app works just fine on the Google Pixel Fold. The camera works great, unlike the Motorola Razr Plus, which made me look like I had bright, kind of like red hair and way more pasty than I usually am. This looks more lifelike, and nobody's complaining. There's no static in the background like the Motorola Razr Plus phone that I had, which I think was a defect with the phone itself. So that works great. So those three things have made the transition really easy. Now, I'm not saying that the transition has been perfect, because there are a couple things missing that I always used on iOS that aren't on Android. One of them is an app called Close Up, which lets you take a picture of yourself every day, and then whenever you want, you can make a video that shows all the images like in a time lapse. It's just something cool. I like it, and I've been doing it for quite a long time now. Then there's a Day One journaling app. There is a version for it for Android, but it doesn't have a widget that you can put on your home screen like the iOS version, which will show like entries that you've had in past years on the same day that will let you like remember things. I miss that. It's not a deal breaker, of course, but I do miss having that functionality. The main thing that I miss from iOS that I don't have here on Android is the shortcuts feature. iOS has a really great way to build shortcuts, and the one that I really wish that I could have on my Pixel Fold is the good morning routine. On my iPhone, when I finally stop the alarm, my wake-up alarm. It will speak the weather, any appointments that I have for that day, and then it will play a news podcast with the headlines. Now, there is that functionality in the Alarms app for Android that will let you use a Google Assistant routine to do the same thing, but it is not working. There's a bug. I Googled it, and there's lots of people that are complaining that it won't work, and it doesn't work for me, and I really miss it, and I hope that that bug gets fixed really quickly because I miss having the news podcast play for me every morning. Okay, let's talk about the Pixel now. Now, I'm not going to go into a crazy amount of detail because I will have a review on my website at some point, but I really like this. I really like this hardware. I really like the size of the phone. It feels premium. The fingerprint sensor in the power button, it works for me. Surprise, which is crazy. Whoop. There it is. It works. Like all the other Android phones that I've tried so far, I don't know why the face unlock won't work in the dark. The iPhone works that way. This one doesn't. The OnePlus didn't. The Razr didn't. So I don't know what's up with that, but that's annoying. Another thing, I like the cameras, but they don't feel like they are flagship quality cameras. They get the job done, but the macro capability isn't all that great, and I just wish they were better. For a almost $2,000 phone, I think the cameras should be better. That's my opinion. The battery life, I think it could use some improvement too. Let's see, what am I on? I am on 73% right now. It's 12:30 in the afternoon. It was fully charged at 5 o'clock this morning. 73%, maybe that's not that bad, but I haven't been using it that much today. I usually have to put it on the charger around 5 o'clock or so. And with my iPhone, I wouldn't have to do that. I guess it's not a huge deal because, you are getting added functionality with this big screen. And I like the screen. When it's open, it is fantastic for reading books. That's pretty much what I use it for most of the time, opened. I also like watching videos on YouTube with it in the open position. And something that you probably wouldn't think of that I like to do is I will use the desktop version of the web version, if that makes sense, of Gmail. So I can have my full experience just like I have here on my desktop. I will have it here on the Fold, and that's fantastic. Now, I don't use it in this form all the time. Most of the time, I will just use, the app, the Gmail app. But if I need to do something important, like send a message to my whole team, I can do that on the desktop version of the web version where I can't do it on the app, because I used the Google Contacts to make a group that I just call GT, Gadgeteer Team, and I just put that in there and it automatically populates with all my people, all their addresses, but the Google app doesn't have that functionality. Another thing that I've noticed about this phone, and I've heard other people talk about it, is that it gets warm. And I will say that yes, it does get warm. I noticed that a lot. I haven't had any issues with the phone shutting down or giving me errors that it's too hot. It's like a perceived problem with the phone that it gets so warm. And it makes me wonder, how well will the components last when they get warm and cool all the time. And then, of course, there's the issue of apps that aren't taking advantage of the screen. So if you have, like, Facebook, okay? If you have Facebook open and you open the phone, you get these pillars on the side. And, it's not horrible, but, you wish that you had a better experience. The same thing with the Live 360 that I was talking about. Almost all of these apps for like social media do this. Luckily, apps like Radar Scope, which will show you the radar, it's full screen. Wow, there's a bunch of rain down south of me. Let's see, what's another app that I like to use a lot? I'm happy to say that my Tempest weather station that I reviewed, it has a full screen app. That's nice. I can look at the weather there too. I'm kind of a weather nerd. I'm hoping that app developers will finally get on board and create versions of their apps that are full screen. I will say that one of my main used apps is Vivint. It's a security system that I have. And although the app that you see here has the pillars, when you go into the camera view, it's full screen. And this did not work at all when I first got this phone. The app itself was all glitchy. This is live right now of my front porch. And it would flash the screen. It would turn the screen. Wow, this app is even doing rotation. So it was not working at all at first, and they've already updated it, so that's a plus, and I hope a lot of other apps do the same. So I'm really finding myself enjoying being on the Android platform again. I am not missing iOS at all, which is very surprising to me. If I can dial in that good morning routine so that it will speak my appointments and the weather and play a podcast with the news, I will be 100% happy. As I am right now, I say that I'm probably like about 95% happy, which is pretty good. So thank you for sticking around to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up. That would be great. And if you want to subscribe, I would love that too. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you have a great day.